What's good with YouTube? You already know. Big Flacco from ACP, a convict's perspective. You already know what time it is, man. Before we get to this video, man, send miles to everybody out there. Hope you're having a positive, productive day. Please hit the like, subscribe, comment, do all those things to help support this channel, and hit that bell notification for future fire content. And I'm gonna react. I'm not gonna put this on my reaction channel. I'm gonna put it on the convict's perspective, and it's about a fellow podcaster, in this prison genre, Santo G. Tap into Santo G. He does good content. Was a Southsider in prison. Has good content. And he speaks about his experience with Wes Watson in contrast to what DUBS has said about Wes Watson. And, in Santo G, what he speaks about Wes Watson, I know he's not lying. Nobody's ever questioned as far as, if Wes Watson ever got into any melees, if he ever did this, or if he was, wood in there. That's all been established, The part of that the issue is that he's lied about certain things. He's lied about saying that he kind of shoot turned before he went to Arizona. He went to Arizona Palma before he went to Oklahoma. He said he was in Calipatria on a shoe kick out. I have a CDCR housing bed history. It doesn't exist. So those are the issues, right? He talked about the shoe, okay? His whole story about the shoe was fucking nothing of it fucking made sense, man. This comes from someone who did years and years in the shoe. Different environments, different ad segs. Nothing that he said was remotely true about how ad segs operate. I've never seen those Southsiders do a roll call at 3 o'clock or 3:30 in the morning. It's not going to happen. And just some of the stuff that he was speaking on, you could tell it was secondhand information. Now, I'm sure there was a lot of true stories that he spoke on, right, as far as in his prison experience, but he also talked about Silicon Valley, that he was there as well. All the stuff he was saying was easy to basically decipher and prove that he was lying. No one's saying that he didn't go to prison. No one's saying that he didn't put in any work. No one's saying that he didn't rock with the woods. What we're saying is he wasn't the image that he perceived to everybody else. The man that he says he was, he's not. And I'm not going to say Santo G is lying about his experiences with him. I believe he's telling the truth. But what I'm saying is the stuff that DUBS or myself have brought down is also true. He's been proven to lie about certain things. There's certain people who are just pathological liars. They tell lies and they get caught up in the mix because they don't realize what they say. And then a year, 2 years later, they forgot what they said because they were trying to give off an image that they wanted you guys to see. Now, the same person who gave me the CDCR housing information also said that there was no record of any shoe offense or shoe time that he actually did. So, I mean, the truth's the truth, and it's not knocking anything that Santo G has said about Wes, I believe everything that he said in his relationship with Wes was what it was. But what we're saying is he's embellished his story to a point to where he's lied about places he's been, positions he's probably held, and he's created scenarios that he wasn't even there. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes people get secondhand information and they run the exact story as if they were present, not thinking that somebody's going to call him out on their shit, not thinking that we're going to have a copy of his housing history record, right? But when you start to notice certain things that comes from an inmate or past inmate that like, look, this doesn't make sense. The shoe video was the one that just fucking turned me off him right off top. I figured in the beginning he was embellishing his stories and, putting a little hot sauce on it. He's good. He's a good speaker. But when I started hearing things that just don't line up with someone who did time in the shoes, who did time, running yards and the things that I was involved in, things he was saying he was making up. Or he was hearing from it and he was processing what he heard and putting it into a video where there was a lot of mistakes. Now, as for Wes Watson, right, he's had a lot of success. I guess he's a good motivator. He does what he does, and he does it well. But the truth is, he's lied in a lot of things that he said. Nobody can argue that. And it's not hating. Telling the truth should never, ever be regarded as hating. Okay? Eliminating facts, though, could be considered hating. So no one's saying that he's a punk. No one's saying that he didn't fight. No one's saying that he paroled inactive or any of that stuff. I'm not saying any of that stuff. I'm just saying that he has embellished a lot of stories, and he has lied about a lot of stories. Just straight, you cannot miss it. And I'm not saying that he lied about all his stories. No, I'm not. But the ones that I pretty much were able to pinpoint in my previous video when I exposed him is bed housing, right? It just showed everything that he had said was a hypocrite. He never caught no shoe time. He never went to a kick out yard in Calipatria. All that shit was bullshit. It's right there. His housing record is right there, man. Very simple. He lied. Okay, now why is that hating? Because I'm putting it out there. Why not? I get shit put out there about me and about other people all the time. At least I'm transparent about what my past is. Now, maybe he should be transparent and explain himself. But it's kind of hard when you lie about something to be transparent because you lied. There's nothing more really that could be added to that. Maybe he came in and wanted to presume a character. He should have went by a different name then. But I have no hate towards the dude. He's still going to do what he does. He's never going to take accountability. And as a man, it's hard to. So you don't have to respect. You don't have to agree with the individual, right? What they do, what they've done, who they are, what they're about, their beliefs, and all that, right? You don't have to agree with them, but you can still respect them when they're transparent. When you can't be transparent about nothing, you can never give off that same energy of respect because there's a fakeness there. They're not true, they're not real. And you don't know what else they're going to hide from you or lie to you about. I'm going to assume that Santo G was pretty much on low-level prison yards. I'm just assuming, based upon the fact of him being out of state, him talking about some CCF yards. So I'm going to assume that he was on some low-level yards. So maybe he doesn't understand how a level 4 or a shoe yard would operate. So, me hearing what Dubs had to say about the shoe video, I agree 100% with everything he said. I thought the same thing. So therefore, it's kind of hard for someone who doesn't know or experience it to really speak on it. So I thought the title that he put, who's lying, I thought that was a little bit kind of a, maybe unnecessary, right? But then again, it's good clickbait though, so I get it too. I don't think anybody, I see the comments on the video, right? Who's lying? It's Wes or Dubs or, you know what I mean? Wes Watson is definitely lying about a lot of shit. And so he lies about so much shit, even when he's telling the truth, it's hard to fucking believe. That's a problem. You get what I'm saying? Everything Santo G spoke about his experience, I believe him. He seems like a stand-up dude and just does not remind me of someone who's gonna hold vendettas or animosity towards an individual. Therefore, everything that he speaks in regard to the subject, I believe him, man. I don't think he's faking it. But I think that there's stuff that he should really look into the other videos and what's being said, especially the one that I put out there. I backed it up with facts. I backed it up with what he said, dates and years as far as then was his bed history, housing history as far as the CDCR. You can't really dispute it. The only thing that maybe wasn't there was when he left to go on basically his parole months before from out of state. He was eventually brought from I think it was he went from Oklahoma to Arizona. In Arizona he came back to go to CCF to parole. So I think when you come to a CCF, I think you have to go through basically another reception center. And I think that's when he was in Delano temporarily in the reception side. And then he was on a CCF and he paroled. Being a liar and a fake doesn't mean that he's a punk. You get what I'm saying? So, I hear what Santo G was saying in the video. Yeah, he scrapped, he did this, he assisted this and that, right? But it didn't show me that he was an authority figure anywhere. Once you lie, basically on your portfolio as a prisoner, everything you say afterwards, man, it's not going to hold any merit, man. You know what I'm saying? He's already been proven that no one's came out and said, okay, yes, he was this and that. No one has said any of that. They've all said the opposite. Now, a few people have said good things about him being on some of the prison yards and that he wasn't no punk. Yeah, I believe that too. But he wasn't on some yards he says he was. And he wasn't that dude like he says he was. Let's just keep it real, man. Now, I never watched all of Dub's videos on Wes Watson because, like I said, the dude is not that important to me. And it's funny one or two times, but it no longer interests me. I just watched certain videos that were more to what I would comprehend as far as level 4, shoe, whatnot, the things that he said about those or about prison gangs. You know what I'm saying? Because that was a life that I lived for so long, invested a lot of time and energy, being part of that I know the truth about how that life works. Unlike this individual, Wes Watson. Shouts out to Santo G. He has a very good channel. I thought it was important that I give a respectful video because I am one of those other channels that has put basically Wes Watson's lies on blast. You know what I'm saying? I was the one that came with basically valid proof, right? That he has lied about his housing history. You know what I'm saying? No one could really sit there and discredit what that says right there, as far as in his paper trail within CDCR where he was housed. No one could dispute that. And in this video, it doesn't discredit Santo G either, because everything he said, I believe he's telling the truth from his experience with Wes Watson. Same thing with Dubs. I believe Dubs was 100 on all things that he called out. So before people start trying to, throw a wrench in everything and trying to stir the pot like there's any hate or fucking that these reactions are done out of disrespect, nah, I think Santo G did his video very respectfully and voiced his opinion, just like I'm trying to do the same. With that said, it's your boy Flacco. From a convict's perspective, I'm gone.